Hi, I'm Nicky. Welcome to this Vitalised devotional series on dealing with disappointment. I don't know how you reacted when you heard we were going back into lockdown for a third time. Were you angry? Were you frustrated? Were you disappointed? Were you just resigned to the fact that this was going to happen? I think we've all gone through a real wide range of emotions recently. We've had the disappointment of a cancelled Christmas, the disappointment of no New Year's Eve celebrations, the disappointment of not being able to go back to school, not be able to see family and friends. And to top it all off, we've got the disappointment of a British winter, which just continually rains and rains and rains. Yes, we had a weekend where we had some snow, but because of home learning, we don't even get a snow day anymore. So how do we manage to deal with these disappointments time and time again? How do we pick ourselves up and keep going? It reminds me in the story in the Bible on the road to Emmaus. It's in Luke chapter 24, verses 13 to 35. Now this story comes after Jesus has been crucified and he's risen again, but the disciples don't know that has happened. So there are two disciples who are walking outside of Jerusalem to the village called Emmaus. And as they're walking along, they are talking. They're trying to make sense of the events of the last few days. I'm sure we have all had the same thing. The amount of time we had the same conversation where we're trying to make sense of all the events that are happening. And then alongside them comes Jesus. And because they're so kind of caught up in themselves, they don't recognise who Jesus is. And he asks them, what are you talking about so intently? And the disciples are quite shocked, thinking, well, how can he not know? Is he the only person who doesn't know what's happened in Jerusalem in the last few days? And Jesus says, well, what things? What's happened? And so they explain everything to him. And at the end, they say these words, we had hoped that he would be the Messiah who would free the nation. We had hoped. You can sense the disappointment that they felt. You can sense that feeling of, oh gosh, we'd hoped that this was going to happen, but it hasn't. And then to add to their confusion, there are some women who are saying that they've seen Jesus is alive. And they're just so confused. They just cannot get their heads around it. But Jesus is there with them the whole time. He's walking along that road with them. And he's listening to them. If I'm honest, I can certainly relate to how the disciples were feeling. Disappointed, deflated. There are certainly moments within this lockdown that I felt like that, where I've wondered where God is, wondered why he's not answering my prayers. But the thing I love about this story is, regardless, Jesus was there. Whether the disciples recognised him as not, he was there. He explained to them what was happening. He explained to them that all that he'd been telling them about what had to happen to him. And it was when he broke bread in the house that's when the disciples recognised him. And sometimes that's the thing, isn't it? Afterwards, after the events, we can see where Jesus has been with us. And the disciples said, did our hearts not burn within us when he was talking to us? Jesus is with us in this lockdown. He's with us as we're walking this difficult road. He wants to know what is on our hearts and what's troubling us. He just wants to be with us and wants us to pour out our spirit to him so that he can give us those answers and give us those words. We just need to be listening to him. Hope has a name, and his name is Jesus. Thanks for watching.